What's up, guys? This is Sim with Vengeance, and I'm back here with another NCAA Basketball 09 Stephen F. Austin Lumberjacks Dynasty, and today we are taking a look at the NCAA tournament, and we are a 3 seed, like I said, and this is going to be pretty much a whole rundown of the whole NCAA tournament. I'm going to make this all into one little video, whether it's the first game or the last game of the tournament, because a little stuff's happened that I'll explain later. I'm going to put it all in one tournament video because it's just some stuff happened that I'm kind of like salty about, and you'll find that out later in the video. So taking on Northeastern right here, they do have a pretty good squad. They do have a really good point guard, and we got to make sure that he doesn't go out and just jack up threes and nail them all game long. So one of our big things is obviously we know he's not going to make every single three-pointer, but we got to be out there grabbing rebounds, because that's one of my biggest things about any basketball team is just rebounding is important. And we are now underway here and here at the Georgia Dome in this game. So hopefully the home crowd has come out to turn out for this game. As you see right there, we are on the perimeter moving the ball around. We get a nice three-pointer look right there. No good, but Terrell with the rebound, no good either. My Lord, what are we doing out here? We're not making good shots right now. So Terrell trying to do some perimeter defense, but he's not a perimeter guy, so we got to get him in the paint or something like that. But that was too easy for him right there. He's not 6'4". Not taking good shots early on. 9-6 Northeastern. They're a 14 seed. Come on, this is not something that we're definitely used to or something like that. This isn't looking good. Terrell posting up, gonna put it inside the Booker. He gets fouled and he's gonna shoot too. So here we go. Trying to just not make sure that they get off to a hot start, because you know how hot starts happen for lower seeded teams in the NCAA tournament. They just end up taking it and running with it, and if they keep it close, you know, it ends up being a disastrous thing for the top seed usually, most cases. So now 9-8 after the free throws. Now it's 11-10, and we're trying to push the tempo a little bit. We're trying to force ourselves in the backcourt. You know, we're not trying to let them run their offense as usual. As you see, we get another and one right there. So free throw shooting has been important for us in this game so far. We've made all of our free throws, and we're also pushing the tempo with our defense, trying to not make them. We're setting up double teams as always, because that's an easy thing to exploit in this game, is just double teams and making sure that they're trapped in the backcourt and stuff like that. So obviously that's our main focus, and making them take bad shots. That's another thing we got to force them to do. We're doing that so far. Obviously we got an 8-point lead because of it, because we're forcing the tempo on defense. You see right there, Teague comes up with the steal, 3-on-2 the other way. You see Terrell inside getting another bucket as that one rolls around the rim a little bit, but it does go down. So now 29-17 right here. As we go up for the rebound, but we don't get it. They get another one right there, but it's now 29-19 just like that. So they're still keeping it fairly close. It's not out of the woods for them just yet, but we started to push the tempo a little bit, and now the game is in our favor just like we wanted. So Morton going inside, getting the bucket, and that one's now 31-19, Stephen F. Austin. So now, like I said, it's all about pushing the tempo on defense. We got to continue the pace. That's what I'm trying to say. And now 38-28 here with 5.5 to go in the first half. We got inside with Harper. He goes inside with his small 5'3" frame and goes inside and gets the bucket and one. 5'3" junior, 150 pounds. Yeah, he's going to go inside and dominate the paint. I could probably guess that most of you are probably sitting there like, how does a 5'3" guy go up there against a 6-footer and just go inside the paint like that and get contact and a foul and an and one? I don't know. But anyway, we're making three-pointers right there with Harper. That's what he can do sometimes. I mean, he's not the greatest three-point shooter, but he can make them from time to time. So he gets that one now. It's 55-39 here, and we're nearing under 30 seconds here in the first half, as their point guard has had some troubles in the first half. You know, they do have some pretty good players, like I said, so we got to make sure that we can contain those players. But you get the steal right there and the fast break dunk, making it an 18-point lead. We start off the second half going inside with Harper immediately and trying to be aggressive, and he's going to get another bucket right there. Being aggressive going inside for a 5'3" point guard going inside, I just don't see it. Usually most college players would just end up being rejected, but he's playing like Muggsy Bogues out there. Exact same height, exactly what I mean. He's going inside, just doing his thing. So here we got backup. We're posting up, kick outside, Pump fake for 3, and then bang. Now a 19-point lead, just like that. And now later on, we're starting to slow down the tempo a lot. As you see, it's 70-46. They just do not know what they're doing out there. We're forcing the action with our defense. Defense turns into offense right there. And you see Harper with a dunk. What in the... What in the what? What in what? Look at that. What? I don't know. I don't get this game. I really don't get this game sometimes. EA, back in 2008, what were you thinking? Making a 5'3" point guard dunk like Spud Webb? Good Lord. I don't know. I just don't know. So, like I said, we're slowing down the tempo a lot. But that doesn't mean we're going to, completely stop scoring. As you see right here, Tuttle with an open 3. Bang. 77-50. And now with just a minute and 20 seconds to go, it's a 29-point lead. This game has been pretty much a joke ever since we took that huge lead in the first half. See Levy going inside, and he gets fouled on the way up. I don't know why he's being aggressive like that on defense. We could just go on our merry little way and just keep the clock running, but they want to keep going for some reason. And it's now a 31-point lead. But we end up winning the game by 34 points, I think. Or 24 points or something like that. I don't know. They ended up scoring a few points at the end. So it was quite the blowout. But this is where it gets a little interesting, and this is where I kind of fucked up. Sorry for the language. But I mean, I did do a very bad thing. I didn't mean to do this. I don't know. This game is just weird when it comes to simulation, because I wanted to simulate the games that I wasn't playing, but apparently I can't do that. And I ended up simulating the game, my game over my next opponent. And I derped so hard. I did. I'll admit it. I derped. But let's face it, guys. The opponent we were going to face was going to give us a run for our money anyway. It was Butler. And it ended up beating us in overtime by the final score of 84-76. This game, it's Butler. They're really good. Especially back in those days of the Brad Stevens era. So they had a good team, and that team was going to be tough to beat regardless. But sadly, that's where the season and the series will come to an end. I'm going to show you guys the rest of the tournament just because, just for good old time's sake and laugh. About 2 16 seeds. St. Peter's, a 16 seed, beat a number 1 seeded USC Trojans. What in the world? And North Dakota State, another 16th seed, beat number 1 seeded North Carolina. Like, what on God's green earth would make that happen? I have no idea. But we're taking a look here. That is the Sweet 16. You got Texas versus Louisville, and you got Creighton versus UConn. And UAB made it to the second round. Shout out to the UAB Blazers Dynasty. They made it to the second round of the NCAA tournament. You got Syracuse versus Notre Dame. You got New Mexico versus Villanova. And you got Pittsburgh versus, gotta forget who BU is. Yeah, it's like Pittsburgh versus, I can't remember off the top of my head. Let's take a look here. If I remember correctly, I do think I went over the scores. But you see, actually it was Vanderbilt over New Mexico. So Vanderbilt made it to the Sweet 16. Surprise, surprise. How often do you see, okay, that's Butler. Never mind. That's the team I lost to. Butler made it all the way that far. So Syracuse versus Notre Dame, and we got Texas versus Louisville, and Dayton versus Memphis. That's an interesting matchup. So Dayton ends up beating Memphis 72-56, and it's Nova versus Dayton. Villanova versus Dayton. Texas versus Louisville. Creighton versus UConn. That's another interesting matchup. You see Texas won 97, or not Texas, but Louisville won 90-79. And in the other matchup, you got Creighton versus UConn. Creighton ends up taking that matchup over UConn by 5 points, 76-71. Creighton had a huge second half, scoring 48 points. And now Florida versus Xavier. That was a good matchup, but Florida ended up taking that one. And Notre Dame beats Syracuse. That's honestly a game that could be easily a flip-flop game, because it's like either team could have won that match because it's such a big rivalry in the Big East, or the ACC. Those two teams used to play each other a lot, so those two teams have a bit of a history against each other. But New Mexico versus Butler, and Florida versus Notre Dame. And then we got Creighton versus Louisville. Louisville ended up taking that match by a final score of 85-69. And you got Villanova versus Dayton, and Villanova ended up taking that match as well. So now you have New Mexico going to the Final Four. New Mexico, guys, in the Final Four. It's Florida also going as well. So New Mexico versus Villanova. And wow, just amazing. New Mexico, guys, made it to the Final Four. And Villanova versus Louisville. And your champion is, oh God, I totally just missed it. Louisville, 75-70. Louisville wins the NCAA championship, and that will conclude the series as Louisville as champions. And I'm sorry I didn't get to do that game against Butler, but let's face it, guys, Butler's a really good basketball team. It would have been a nail biter there as well. I probably, like I said, Butler's a really good basketball team. It was during the Brad Stevens era. I probably most likely would have lost that game anyway. That was probably my best matchup all season long. And to face a really good team like Butler was pretty much the inevitable of my season. Because we really, like I said, we really didn't play anybody during the regular season or the conference tournament. So that one was pretty much like a culture shock to my team. And, you know, it would have been a culture shock to me because Butler's just that good. I think they had Gordon Hayward in that time too, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, they had Gordon Hayward. But correct me if I'm wrong on that. I'm pretty sure they did. But anyway, I know this was like a short mini series. You can call it a mini series if you'd like. But I did enjoy it while it was around. I just don't feel comfortable making basketball content anymore. It's not my style. I'm more of a football guy, if you guys haven't heard that already. But, you know, this series will be discontinued as you take a look at the final look at the top 25. We did finish number 9 in the country, but that's pretty good. But this series will be discontinued, and it will be replaced with a college football series, the Arkansas State Red Wolves Dynasty, that I just started up about a couple days ago. So it's not like I'm completely wiping out this series and not replacing it with another. But you saw that St. Peter's upset. That was like, wow, that actually happened? They aren't letting me see the UNC North Dakota State upset, though. That's kind of disappointing. That's kind of saddening. Kind of wanted to see the final score of that one. But, yeah. What was your biggest shock of the tournament, anyway? Let me know in the comments section down below. Obviously, the biggest shock is me not winning the NCAA championship, but I'm pretty sure New Mexico's making the Final Four is already a big enough surprise. But if you guys enjoyed, drop a like, and if you're new to the channel at all, hit that subscribe button down below for more content like this. Until next time, until the newest Dynasty starts. My name is Sim with Vengeance. You guys have been amazing as always, and I'm out. Peace.